See people coming onto the chat. Hopefully this works. Hello, Pipson. Hello. It has, yeah. Great. Oh, this stupid thing that I have to do. Great. Fun. So exciting when you have to put in a code. Oh gosh, that's fun. Right there. Oh. All right, you need to just hold on. I'm going to be back. You just all hold your horses. I have to deal with something that I don't want to deal with, that I'm questioning whether or not I should deal with it. And that's what I want to access. And of course, I have to get in to it through that, which is going to be very annoying. And I'm going to wash my hands. And then I'm going to come down here and then put it in. And then I'm going to wash my hands again. So I'm going to do all that. And you can wait right here whilst I do that. All right. There we go. I have to take care of that, which is super fun. Be right back. Alrighty, so I'm going to be having some pasta for dinner. These books are ruined. Ruined. You know why? Because I just touched under my arm. Let me think a second. Do I value my phone and computer? Yes, I do. Am I really going to do that? No, I'm not. Am I really going to try to avoid contact between my books and phone? No. Am I going to sit here and overanalyze whether or not I did touch my armpit? No, because an easier solution is to go up and wash my hands again. I will be right back. And I'm not going to do this again where I am going to be coming here and going back there. So wait a little bit longer and I'll be right there. Health is one of my utmost priorities in life. Right now, which is why I had yogurt, Raisin Bran, warm almond water, and cashews with a little cheeses added in for lunch. How about that for healthy lunch? And I ate it late, on the later side. 1:30 I had lunch. And tonight, I'm going to be having some pasta from last night because it is personal expressor, healthier than bratwurst. Pasta with olives and tomato sauce and all that is healthier than bratwurst. So that's what I'm going to be having for dinner tonight. Alrighty. So, welcome. Guess what? I've found an excuse to do these live streams and these videos for the Invented, and you know what it is? object A, object B, these, which are going to turn into banes of my existence over the course of the next couple weeks. Why am I doing this privately and not on my own YouTube channel? Well, if I valued my YouTube channel and my audience, do you think that I would be doing this in front of them? Point is, I think that you got the message by now that I don't value as much. That's just the truth, and I'm not going to sugarcoat the truth. Now, it's a year. I'm going to keep saying this over and over. It is a year past the point that I compulsively and idiotically deleted all those videos that I had put the time, energy, and effort into making of this amendment. So, the only excuse I will come on here and do these things for all of you is if I am doing something under duress, meaning if I need to do something that I am forced to do and not that I want to do it. If I am the one imposing this that I must do, my YouTube channel and everything else. But if it is by somebody else, that is where I'm to come on here and I'm going to literally do every single assignment in these 2 classes through this format and through these live streams. It's going to be boring, but I am going to do whatever I can to keep it entertaining and interesting for all of you to watch me as I work through my responsibilities, which lie in addition to the compulsive OCD that I am trying to work on right now. And actually, that's a very good expressor for this and this. It's something called a sick expressor. You know what that is? It's something that is very negative and it should be taken absolutely seriously, and yet you use it as fuel against something else, against somebody else. So, expressor to this is, guess what? I am dealing with this other more important thing in my life right now, which is my mental health. I am dealing with, I don't know, trying to get healthy in my interest in astrology and spirituality and the people that I follow on YouTube. All these things are expressors to this and this right here. These 2 books, which don't have a whole lot to do with spirituality. I can think of somebody right now. Her name is Eden. Now, this is where, if you want spirituality, if you want wisdom, you need to go to my YouTube channel. You're not going to find that here. Let me just start in with the expressors first of all, because that's just a little bit of the news that I want to spill about what is going on in my life right now. The thing about I'm going to go against somebody, and never mind. So I get very annoyed when I'm referring to somebody and I cannot find a spiritual way of explaining my feelings about them. There's nothing spiritual in the Syrians ate their dessert first. There's nothing spiritual in dance till you drop. But I would never express what I experienced with my family at a wedding in Chicago. The only thing was it wasn't very healthy because of the wedding being very late at night. And the music was loud. I mean, beyond that, beyond the overwhelming atmosphere, it was a blast. It always is. And that's why it's not the healthiest environment. and situation because it costs me my sleep and my mental health the next day. So if you look at it from that perspective, you can see the two sides of the given issue right there. Now, when discussing who I am with this particular semester in terms of my teachers, a flake, just an ordinary flake. You can't pair it to anything. You can't connect it to anything. It's just a flake. A flake that is totally original and you can't find any semblance with what is going on in your life at the current time. That flake is alluring. There's nothing wrong about that flake whatsoever, except there is nothing that drops down here, except it's all up there. And the problem is, guess what? In my lifetime, anyone who's up here, I don't know. I think you have to integrate and go down here before you can really get me at this point in my life right now. Now that flake that I just made a metaphor of right now is who I'm referring to. Let me just go through my list of things that I find wrong about this particular person. Let me think. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot at all. But what I can think of right now is not very spiritual. Now, that is the only thing that I can find that is a flaw with somebody, that's saying a whole lot. The only thing that I can find wrong is not very spiritual. Well, I think that it's a pretty good semester. Here's the thing. It is a class that requires you to do work and all those kind of things, and yet here you are, a graceful klutz, coming in and grabbing people's attention by your flossomeness. Where is the integration here? I mean, where is the depth? Where is the spiritual bridge into all that you're talking about? What is this going to really mean? How am I going to walk out of the class just ordinarily getting nothing out of the class, as I have gotten nothing out of the previous classes that I've taken? True story, except for that one. That was unbelievably tough. Is this going to be one of those classes that just means nothing to me? Or what is the real meaning? I mean, this is my thing now. What is the spiritual meaning of this class? What is this? Like, what does this mean on the spiritual meaning soul level? What does architecture, dance, literature, all those things mean? What does it all mean? that question has yet to get answered. Meanwhile, back at the ranch in 2017 and 18, had I been in this particular class, I would be in alignment, maybe. Now I'm a little bit less in alignment with the class and me at this particular point in my life. My career has nothing to do with the outside world. It is an inner career that I wake up and work at. What is my career? I don't know. It may be just an inner experience because I am still doing that work. I am still doing that work. I haven't yet. That's me. And there's nothing wrong with that. And don't you dare put me in a position to believe that I am not adequate enough. That I am just somebody who does not have a purpose. Because that is something that I am hyper aware of. Now, I'm not saying that this particular person did any of that. Absolutely not. But the theatrical thing, I have moved beyond that. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But there's nothing wrong with so many things that you see in the world that you go to and you don't feel completely nourished by. There's nothing wrong with any of that either. Describing somebody, I mean, this is so annoying. I don't like describing anything about them, anything about people that I can't have somebody. Never mind. Point is, I don't know. I don't know what it is. My mind, Mercury retrograde in Virgo, is trying to pick out flaws, and I'm finding a very difficult time. My South Node in Scorpio is finding a very difficult time. I think that is a pretty darn good sign for a particular person, isn't it? But at home, meanwhile, back at the ranch, I have enough stuff going on. Mentally, emotionally. I go to DMAC to escape all that. Oh, you have another thing to do on top of all the things that you're dealing with. Not that it's a whole lot to deal with. Not that a quiz over a section is a whole lot. But I am dealing with so much work on an internal level for me personally. Throw in whatever, and it can be, yet another thing that I need to make time to deal with. Now, my real work is my YouTube channel. You all know that. But that's what I value as my work. This is just work that comes second to my main work. And yet it's still of value to me. So why am I squishing its value by coming on here? I mean, anything that I say and do on here, I do not value as much as the other things. I just want to make that very, very clear. If I'm going to be doing my work on these live streams for any work that I do, and I'm not going to leave here until I get all of it done, that is saying that I do not value this as much as other things, and that is true. That's true. So maybe I will find value in some kind of juice out of what I am reading and learning here. But none of it is, again, really meaningful. So, it's not meaningful. And so, therefore, I shouldn't treat it as is, because boom. I mean, if it is deep and, meaningful and whatever, and that's something that I'll really dig into, invest into, like I'm reading a book of my choice or doing whatever. But because of the nature of this at my, the current point in my life, I just might as well just say, oh, it's meaningful. There's not a whole lot to it. So I might as well treat it as such, which I'm going to do right now. You're good and all, but you are up here. I want somebody to go down here, or you're down here, but I want somebody to be up here. I want something up here. I don't want something down here, 3D, three-dimensional. I don't even know what I'm referring to when I say three-dimensional, so forget that I even said that. I don't want someone down here. I want someone up here. So, with that being said, let us proceed into this quiz. Try to give it as much sprinkling of justice as I can. However, I've already explained what I did just explain to you. So, here it is. Let's just go through this and see what happens. Alrighty. Now, if I could share my screen, then I would, but you're just going to have to listen to me. By the way, announcements. What do I have to tell you for announcements? Nothing, because that's not my job. Alrighty, so let me go down to this. Okay, first question. Chapter 1. Let me just flip to chapter 1 and do this. This is live. I've never done this before. I've never opened this book up, and this is how I will be reading this book and approaching this book, unless I later in life come back to this and go, you know what, I want to dig into this, my own initiative at my own time. So this book is a resource, so I just want to read it for the sake of reading it. Boom. I will do that. But this is something that I have to do for a class for somebody else. So therefore, I'm on this live stream doing this, and I will treat this book I will invalidate this book. I will not put value into this book. The value of the work that I do for this class and the classes that I have will be on these live streams. Alone and only these live streams. So, let me dig into the book, which, by the way, I had to get a binder for it because I ordered the book and it was just a bunch of pages, like a stack of pages. It was unbelievable. So I had to... Okay, let's go to the first page. This is like magic, just a magic cookbook. I've never opened this book. Now I'm going to try to pick up on the flossomeness of the person that I have. Very refreshing, considering that the last teacher that I had in that same classroom was pretty by the book. I'm saying that very, very strongly. Okay, chapter 1. An introduction to humanities. This is what it says. So the question is, broad areas of human creativity involving analysis of values are collectively referred to as. Well, let's find out, because I could say the options are, first of all, the humanities, the history of mankind, scientific methodologies of the arts and sciences. There's an obvious answer for this, but yes, there's an obvious answer for multiple different things out there. So I want to find out the real answer. Let me tell you something. The same rule applies for note-taking when it comes to my videos and when it comes to things. Here's what I do. I have an article, I read through it, and then I write down what I remember. And I will literally do that if I am doing a research paper. And I'm reading through an online article, same thing. It's not any more important, because guess what's more important? My videos, my YouTube channel. And my strategy is read through the whole article, write down what I remember from reading it. Same thing here. So, it says the humanities and study of values. The humanities, a study of values. The humanities and sciences are not as distinct from one another as current academic descriptions imply. Originally, the humanities indicated a split from theological studies, which centered on God because they concern themselves with humans and human activities. The academic distinction centers on mathematics and the hard sciences, which depend on measurement and exact comparisons. I can feel you just nodding off. I am too. The academic distinction centers on mathematics and the hard sciences, which depend on measurement and exact comparisons, while the humanities depend on ideas and research that can be understood and felt but rarely measured. Most colleges describe themselves as a college of arts and sciences. In this book, we focus on the arts, but science sometimes enters the discussion as well. The current separation between the humanities and the sciences reveal itself in a number of contemporary controversies. For example, I'm probably making this way harder and taking way longer than I should take with this, but who knows? Okay, so for example, the cloning of animals has been greeted by many people as a possible benefit for domestic livestock farmers. Genetically altered wheat, cereals, soybeans, and other food crops have been heralded by many scientists as a breakthrough that will produce disease-resistant crops and therefore permit humans to continue to increase the world food supply. On the other hand, some people fear that such tampering with genetics may become uncontrollable and possibly damage food supplies in the long term. Scientific research into the human genome has identified certain genes for inherited diseases. Notice the way that I said that. Certain genes for inherited. Yeah, you can tell. So let me just say that again. Scientific research into the human genome has identified certain genes into inherited diseases, such as breast cancer, or Alzheimer's disease, that could be modified to protect. There is no meaning in this at all. So why try to suck meaning out of something when there's none at all? That could be modified to protect individuals or their offspring. Genetic research also suggests that in a few years, individuals may be able to design their future children's intelligence, body shape, height, general appearance, and physical activity. Okay, this is getting too in the weeds here. So, the humanities is the answer. Cave artings reveal that. Well, where does it talk about? We can make this so much easier by just flipping to the section where it talks about what the question is implying. So let me just find where it discusses cave art. Let me just see here. So, cave art. Where does it discuss cave art? Where does it talk about this? I have no idea. Oh, here we go. All right. So, the humanities developer sensitive values. There are numerous ways to approach the humanities. Values are clarified in enduring ways in the arts. Human beings have had the impulse to express their values since the earliest times. Ancient tools recovered from the most recent ice age, for example, are decorated with elaborate designs that made them not only useful but also beautiful. The concept of progress in the arts is problematic. Who is to say whether the cave paintings of 30,000 years ago that were discovered in present day France are less excellent than the work of Picasso? Cave paintings were probably not made as works of art to be contemplated. Getting to them in the caves is almost always difficult, and they are very hard to see. They seem to have been made for a practical purpose, such as improving the prospects for the hunt. Yet the work reveals something about the power, grace, and beauty of all the animals it portrays. These cave paintings function now as works of art. From the beginning, our species instinctively had an interest in making revealing forms. Art is a sacred matter. Animals have been important in the development of values. Art has a geographical connection. Among the numerous ways to approach the humanities, we have chosen the way of the arts because, as we shall try to I said the word correctly, the arts clarify or reveal values. As we deepen our understanding of the arts, we necessarily deepen our understanding of values. We will study our experience with works of art as well as the values others associate with them. And in the process, we will also educate ourselves about our own values. A value is something that matters. Engagement with art, the illustration of values, enriches the quality of our lives significantly. The subject matter of art, what is it about, is not limited to the beautiful and the pleasant, the bright sides of life. Art may also indicate and help us understand the dark sides, the ugly, the painful, and the tragic. And when it does, and when we get it, we are better able to come to grips with those dark sides of life. Art brings us direct communication with others. As Carlos Fuentes wrote in The Buried Mirror, people and their cultures perish in isolation. but they are born or reborn in contact with other men and women of another culture, another creed, another race. If we do not recognize our humanity in others, we shall not recognize it in ourselves. Art reveals the essence of our existence. I have some choice words to say about that for the fact that it's counter. So, from the beginning, humans instinctively made revealing forms. When you are reading through a book and answering a question, you need validation. So, let me see if it even validates what I am wanting to choose as the answer. So, revealing forms. From the beginning, our spaces instinctively had yes. Boom. That did not come from just guesswork. So, 8 more questions remaining. What statement best corresponds with the author's approach to the humanities? This is going to be a difficult question. Okay, let me read this next section. When the great sculptures and paintings of the Italian Renaissance were being made, their ultimate value hinged on how good they were and how fully they expressed the value